39 days, thousands of miles of travel, midsummer heat. The 2026 World Cup is a brutal endurance test for players on the pitch and a logistical trap for anyone trying to watch it at home. This bar chart outlines the raw math. We are moving from the traditional 64-game format of 2022 to a 104-game schedule. That is a 60% jump in pure match volume. Notice this red zone on the 2026 bar. If you try to power through and watch every single match, that extra volume guarantees you will burn out before the quarterfinals even begin. You have to abandon the old habit of watching based on pure passion. Time is your most valuable currency this summer, and every match has to be evaluated by its return on investment. Without a strict, logical system to filter out the filler, the group stages will quickly devolve into exhausting white noise. This is the squad ROI matrix. We use it to cut through the marketing hype of the newly released official rosters. The x-axis measures a team's physical durability and depth, while the y-axis plots their tactical ceiling and entertainment value. When you map out the core identity of the 48 squads, the true contenders cluster into 3 specific zones on this board. We have to evaluate them this way because of the massive, invisible variable dragging down every single roster. Extreme North American summer heat combined with thousands of miles of mandated air travel. By categorizing the favorites into 3 distinct archetypes, we can predict exactly how entertaining they will actually be to watch. Identifying a squad's archetype right now prevents you from wasting 10 hours of your life watching a technically superior team play exhausted, boring football. Our first archetype is the Blue Bloods. These are the historic powerhouses carrying overwhelmingly deep rosters stacked with players who start for elite European clubs. France sits at the top of this list. They possess unmatched legacy dominance and terrifying raw attacking firepower through players like Kylian Mbappe. England carries that same heavy expectation, fielding a deeply talented domestic roster built around proven volume scorers like Harry Kane. But look at this line graph comparing domestic minutes. The data line for top-tier European stars arcs far above the global tournament average. The hidden cost of an elite roster is profound physical fatigue. To survive the summer heat with those heavy legs, these teams are forced to play pragmatic, slow, low-event football during the group stages. They conserve energy by holding possession, not by attacking. Plotting France and England on our ROI matrix drops them squarely into the lower right quadrant. They have the depth to survive, but they are incredibly dull to watch. The Blue Bloods are mathematically safe bets to reach the quarterfinals, but they offer terrible entertainment ROI during the opening 3 weeks. Our second archetype is the tactical projects. These squads are banking on world-class tactical minds to overperform, rather than relying strictly on raw roster depth. Brazil executed a massive pivot for this cycle, handing the reins of their national identity over to Carlo Ancelotti. The USA took a similarly high-stakes gamble, bringing in Mauricio Pochettino to try and weaponize their current golden generation. And Germany is relying entirely on Julian Nagelsmann's highly complex, highly demanding systemic approach. The core vulnerability here is time. Elite club systems require daily, repetitive training to function. You simply cannot manufacture that chemistry during brief, scattered international windows. When we map these squads on our matrix, they land in the upper left quadrant, high on entertainment and managerial pedigree, but dangerously low on durability. Tactical projects offer the absolute highest tactical ceilings in this tournament, but you have to accept the massive risk of a spectacular, disorganized early exit. Our final archetype is the dark horses. These are the high-upside underdogs, defined either by highly concentrated star power or intense structural unity. Norway is the perfect example of the concentrated approach. Their entire system is built around one elite attacking spearhead, Erling Haaland. But that spearhead is entirely reliant on a single creative engine, Martin Odegaard, functioning perfectly for 90 minutes. Contrast that with Morocco. They are the proven structure dark horse, relying on their deep structural unity and 2022 pedigree rather than isolating individual superstars. The fatal flaw hiding in both of their squad lists is zero bench depth. A single pulled hamstring or a bout of heat exhaustion ruins their entire campaign. Dark horses provide massive emotional payoffs and great betting value, but watching them demands you accept the constant looming threat of a complete collapse. We know the teams. Now we have to look at your schedule. The only way to survive 104 matches is to pick a rigid viewing lane and stay in it. This strategy flowchart strips the decision down to one question: what is your primary goal? If you are the time-poor optimizer, ignore the expanded group stages entirely. Wait for the fatigue to filter out the weak teams, and only tune in for the knockouts. If you are a tactics nerd, track the Ancelotti and Nagelsmann brackets. That is where the high-level systemic chess matches happen. If you are a chaos seeker, target the fringe groups. Follow the brittle dark horses where every point dictates survival. Treat the World Cup as a customizable menu, not a mandatory marathon. That is the only way to protect your time. 3 countries, 4 time zones, and peak summer temperatures. The physical footprint of this tournament spans an entire continent. Pick your viewing lane, target your squads based on the ROI you actually want, and let the remaining 80 matches fade into the background. The 2026 World Cup is too massive to consume whole. This summer, mastering your attention is the ultimate victory.